Hi, my name is Rachel, and I'm a theater person. I've worked and lived everywhere across the country, acting, singing, directing, and even cleaning toilets. I moved to Harrisburg 2 years ago to work at Open Stage, a professional theater company that's been around going on 35 years. During this time of social distancing, we had some time to reflect on what it means to be a performer with no audience to perform for. As always, we hope to make lemonade from lemons and take time to reflect on the phenomenal artists that have become such an important part of our local culture and our community. This is Thank You 10. How long have you been living in this area?
Um, Most of my life, honestly. I grew up about 50 miles north of here in Snyder County, and then by 18 I moved out and moved to this area. Brief stint in Florida, but we don't have to talk about that.
Gotcha. Were you ever a Florida woman, do you think? Do you think that,
Oh,
yeah.
I do know Florida woman. No, I don't think I was there long enough.
Oh, good.
And I mean, I was really young, and it was like early 20s, like just impressionable, but not so impressionable that I was going to become a Florida woman.
You are currently the director of education at the Harrisburg Improv Theatre. So in a minute or less, tell us your life story leading up to that.
Oh yeah, sure. I've always been into theater. Like, I don't know if you did this when you were a kid, but playing pretend was more than just playing pretend. Like, it was a life. Like, we would assign characters, and like I took it super seriously. And I can't say the same was true for like the neighbor kids that I would bring together to create plays and stuff, but I don't know that they took it as seriously as I did, but I took it very seriously. But then I got into theater, and theater's always been a part of my life. And then when I had kids, it was like I wanted to stay involved, but it was hard to commit to a show. So I found improv. And I mean, I knew what improv was and I had done it before, but as far as like really making it my artistic thing, it was really when I had kids and just needed an outlet that was accessible.
So you have shows almost every weekend, or you did up until the world was canceled, right? So
We did until the world was canceled,
yeah.
but up until that point, we had shows every Friday and Saturday night, starting at 8 o'clock, with usually something special going on in the 7 o'clock hour as well. On Saturdays in the 7 o'clock hour was a free mixer, so it was a chance for anyone to come and get on stage. You don't have to take a class or anything. It's just basically a free for all. And well, I mean, it's organized, but
An organized free for all
is anybody just come on stage at any time.
Organized free for all is maybe the most accurate description of theater that I can imagine. Actually.
Oh my God, it so is. Wow.
I know you get this question every day. They're just like, you really just make it up on the spot? You really just, you haven't practiced this? Like, but
yeah, I think people think that like it is literally just a cobbling together of people that are just brave. When in reality, I mean, yeah, like it does definitely take a personality to sort of want to do it, or at least a decision to want to do it. I think everyone can do improv. But it's, I mean, we practice a lot of skills, like a lot of listening skills and character building skill. And I know you know this, like just it's all about character and relationship for me. It's not about being funny or telling jokes. A lot of people will tell me, oh, I can't do improv because I'm not funny. Man, that is not what it's about at all. Like, humor comes from relationships.
mm-hmm.
and you can't manufacture that. You have to know how to connect with a scene partner, and that's what I teach in my classes.
I know a lot of people started later in life, but you said you started when you were pretty young. Do you remember being on stage for the first time, and what was it?
Yeah, I remember in elementary school, I was in a play. I was a really, really shy kid. But it was one of those things where like, I knew that this was something I really wanted to do. I just didn't know how to like make myself do it. But I did. I had a part in a play in elementary school, but all I did was hand a newspaper to the main character, who was played by like this really popular guy, like this really popular boy. So that was really exciting for me. I think imprinted on my mind, like just handing this really popular kid a newspaper. That was my only job. I didn't have a line or anything. But then I went to a summer camp, and this would have been like early teens, and the summer camp, you had like 3 activities to choose from that part of the day you would spend doing that activity. And so I picked like canoeing and then something else, and then the other thing was drama. And the counselor who was in charge of the drama team was an improv person. Like that was just her thing. So we learned a bunch of improv games, and we had a show. But I was so shy that I just froze. I didn't do anything. So that's like what I remember from my very early experiences on stage.
I too did drama at camp. Like, I know you're supposed to do all like, I think I tried to do archery, and it's not good. So
we should have just like a support group on Facebook or something for
scarred by
camp alum.
At my camp,
just in general, people scarred by camp. Yeah,
I know, it's so true. It's so true. We did a group number from Annie. We did It's a Hard Knock Life, and I think I could probably still do the choreography. We each got a broom, of course, and there was a lot of this, God. A lot of this action.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah. Yep. But yeah, we absolutely, there should be a support group for people scarred by theater kids scarred by camp.
So keep on the lookout for that, everyone. Just keep your eye on Facebook for an invite.
Do you have an improv game that people can play at home?
Oh yeah, sure. One of our favorites is just one word story, where
I love that game.
So everyone can just sit in the living room or whatever, and maybe you have somebody throw out just an idea for a topic for the story, and then each person in the circle will take turns contributing one word to build the story to an end. So
I love that game. I haven't played that in forever. Let's play it now.
Let's do it.
What's our word? We need a word.
Cabin. We talked about camp.
Okay. Okay. I'll start. Okay. Once
Upon
a
time
there
were
3
cabins
in
the
woods.
We'll end the sentence there. Okay.
Oh, period. Yeah.
Period. Yeah. They
were
closed
to
the
town,
but
many
ghosts
loved
to
hang
out
there.
Period. One
morning,
a
tiny
child
wandered
into
the
cabin
and
was
incredibly
scared
when
a
ghost
bit
them. period. Oh my God.
I don't know. It got very dark.
It got dark. So
Can
if
you
you
hear
at
that?
home want to finish the story about the little girl who was bit by a ghost in one of the 3 cabins in the woods, please do so. If anyone is watching, please let us know how the story is.
By all means, send it to us.
Great. So, okay. So I really want to thank you for doing this today.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah, it was
really
super fun. Yeah, you've done so much for the theater. Jennie actually was in our production, one of our productions of The Diary of Anne Frank. You played Margaret, right?
Yeah, years ago. I was actually pregnant with Evelyn during my 2nd year playing Margaret.
Oh, that's awesome.
So Margaret was pregnant that year.
So you had a long history with Open Stage, and last year you directed The Kids You Read About in Textbooks, which was one of my favorite things that we've done at Open Stage. It was a really cool devised piece that Jennie and Patrick Hughes worked on with a group of teams. So Jennie, how can people support the hit at this time?
We're actually very, very grateful for any donations right now, because we can't have any classes running and we can't have any shows. So we do have an easy way to do that. If you go to our website, hbgimprov.com, we did put a way for folks to donate to our theater. So if anyone's willing and able to do that, we really appreciate it.
I want to thank you, Jennie, so much for doing this today.
Thank you, Rachel. It was so nice to see you.
It's great to see you too. I'm sure I'll see you again in the virtual world soon.
Okay, take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye.